What's up, guys? Love 100 Agron here. So, I made a real big blunder and I fucked up. Let me start out by saying, welcome to Killer Instinct. This is an In the Lab for Con Ra. I haven't done this in so goddamn long that, excuse me, I forgot to enable my microphone while doing this, and I am literally kicking myself in the testicles for fucking up so bad. I'll do the same thing that I said when I picked him, Mumra reference, because if you say that's not Mumra, you're kidding yourself. So basically, I almost called him Mumra. Con Ra is literally the most difficult character in the cast right now. This was really rough on me. There were points where I completely lost track of what I was talking about because I was like so focused on like, oh my god, what do I do with this? What can I do with that? I'll say again, his design is so fantastic, and that is the single most sinister smile I have ever seen in my life. So starting off, we're just checking the normals. Stand medium kick, stand roundhouse, fantastic. Stand roundhouse has a stupid long range. He has command normals as well for back medium punch and down back medium punch and back heavy punch and down back heavy punch. I don't think you can use them in place of doubles. They're more of openers if you get like a jump in or something. Not entirely too sure. They're supposed to be for close range. I would assume that they're safe on block for the most part. All of his normals have ridiculously good range on them. To be honest, I don't really know what super... Damn it, I dropped the arm on my chair. What super practical use his close normals have. I did that by accident the first time, and it really confused me. I was like, what the fuck? How did I do that? And then I kind of figure out sand is a big part of his game. So keeping sand up and near the opponent is going to be a really big factor. Stand roundhouse and then jump roundhouse creates sand splashes. So stand roundhouse kicks sand forward. Jump roundhouse is kind of like a dive kick, but it goes straight down. When it lands, it creates a like splash effect of sand, and depending on how high up in the air you jump determines on how big the splash effect is. So if you do it really low, it's a small hitbox, and if you do it higher in the air, it has a huge hitbox. I don't know how safe it is on block. I probably will see here in a second. Flipping on things, I'm gonna do these in like 20-minute videos because I really don't want to talk for 1 hour straight. So Sand Geyser, it's an anti-air, really good anti-air. It puts up the sand effect on the ground, and it's pretty solid for anti-airing. I don't know if I'm pretty sure that you can do Sand Geyser and then do Antlion, which is down forward and heavy kick. I didn't actually play around with that because that idea never crossed my mind, but these moves are all... See, I didn't know any of like his inputs or anything. I had to check the command list. So all of those are different command normals for the sand effect on the ground. Alternate attacks are his command normals, like I said. Back medium punch is the wheel. Back heavy punch is the like drill punch. Down back medium punch is like a straight kind of plasma blast, and then down back heavy punch is an anti-air blast that knocks them like almost full screen. So one thing you'll notice is when Con Ra hits them with the sand like bugs on the ground, the geysers, the dune, I don't really know what to call it, they kind of get this weird sand debuff looking effect. Now I'm not sure if it's a status or if it's just an effect, or if it has any practical uses, but there's an anti-air option as well. If you do maybe jump roundhouse in the air and they jump at you because you land and they're trying to get a jump in punish, you can do down forward light kick. Oh man, train of thought. There's so much to talk about. If you dash while on the sand geyser, you get the palm that pushes you out, and it gives you a ridiculous cross-up option. Like, my god. Jump fierce. Oh, it's like two spinning hitboxes that are just ridiculous. Jump medium or medium kick is really good. It actually crosses up, oddly enough, but I don't know what you can convert off of it. And I also forgot to completely try this while I was in game. You can cancel jump normals, like jump fierce and stuff, into the bugs. But we haven't gotten to the bugs yet. I'm still figuring stuff out with him. Here I spend like 5 minutes, not actually 5 minutes, but I spend a little bit of time trying to do, because I remember seeing his throw and I was like, that looks perfect for a command throw setup. So I spent a little bit of time trying to figure this out. But anyways, I'm not sure if the sand effect has any like status effect, kind of like Spinal, because, you know, it's kind of weird. It looks like it does, though. I feel like it definitely does. So when I find out what that is, I'll probably leave it in the description, or one of you guys can leave a comment and tell me what it does, because I actually don't know. It might just be an aesthetic thing, but I may be reading too much into it. So the whirl that I'm getting there after the command, or the regular throw, is me actually trying to do the command throw input, like on the first frame that I possibly can. But for some reason, sometimes when you do it, it gives you whirl, and I don't really know why. It's kind of odd. I think here I flip on, yeah, and then I keep running through, trying to do throw. That is clearly an anti-air as well. Conra has a lot of anti-air options, actually. It's a little... Nah, it's not odd, because he seems like a glass cannon type. Since he's all about his setups, if they get in on him, he seems like he'll die very bad. God, I keep doing this. This is an old habit that I hate. This was the thing that I used to do with post commentary on stuff, and that's why I hate doing it now. But I figure out that the command throw gives a ground bounce effect, and I remember seeing the antlion has a recapture state, and you can convert from full screen as long as your sand trap is in front of them with the antlion. So you can do command grab, antlion, and then just start a combo. The goofy thing with antlion is it has like a little bit of delay. See, like, I'm trying to start a combo there with medium punch. Like, it has a little bit of delay when you rise up out of the sand. So my suggestion would be, when you do it, just mash out whichever double you're trying to use, because some of the times when I would try and just press it, I would end up missing it, and then they'd just stand there. Excuse me. So covering special moves, I figure out Swarm is stupid good. Light is +7 on block. I thought I saw medium on +3. The spikes are the big thing, and I don't get to those until later. Clutch is the command grab. 20 frame startup for the ground, which is so. I really don't know how useful a 20 frame startup command grab is in Killer Instinct as opposed to a, what is it, 3 frame or 2 frame startup command throw in fucking Street Fighter. But it's pretty solid. Like, once I start messing around with the scarabs, you'll see, like, excuse me, you'll see kind of some of the things that you can do with command grab. It puts them in some really shitty situations. So I'm just kind of messing around with Spike, because I remember seeing that a lot of Conras, like the few Conras that I saw, what they would do is they would do Spike, and then they would do jump cancel scarabs, and they would get their setup like that. So the thing about scarabs is, from light to heavy, its duration is increased, and the startup is increased. So light comes out the fastest, but it hangs around for the least amount of time. That is a weird thing that happens when you have scarabs up, or insects, whatever you want to call them. But that's a weird thing that happens, so be careful about that, because you could just waste your shadow meter and not be able to get any damage off of it. So see here, that was kind of the setup that I was talking about. Like, they do spike, throw them behind them, jump forward, scarab, and then do jump round, or jump fierce. Alright, it's at this point that I realize Con-Ra's crouching fierce is like Dudley's crouch roundhouse, and it gives you a sick juggle state. And I decide to kind of play around with scarabs and then doing crouch fierce into them, and show you guys that his fireball forward and punch is a recapture. It actually does a good chunk too. So crouch medium punch, it hits twice. I'm gonna full screen the video. It hits twice, and the second hit is considered a manual, which is kind of useful, but it has really long range on it, and you can convert off of it. I believe that Con-Ra actually kind of does like the sandy teleport thing off of it. It looks like it's a low, but it's not actually a low. It's completely mid. However, crouch fierce or down forward fierce is in fact a low. So at this point I was kind of checking to see if I could find like some sort of input display that would say, oh, this is a low, this attack has a low property or something, but I couldn't figure it out, so I figured I'll just set the computer to block lows only, and if it's not a low, it'll hit him, or if it is a low, he'll block it. If not, then he'll get hit by it. So crouch medium punch is in fact a low, or down forward medium punch, I don't remember which one. It has a nice little kind of, because you see at the end of it, it kind of makes like a grappling effect. It's got a kind of nice pull towards you kind of thing, so maybe you set up scarabs and then you do crouch medium punch, pull them towards you, and then you have your scarab there, but, or your antlion, sorry. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I will be using crouch medium punch outside of poking, but see, and then here is where I remember, oh man, this sucks doing this like afterwards, because it's like I've got to like, here I remember that I did this, instead of like just on the fly figuring these things out. So it was at that point that I remembered that most Con-Ras end their combos with the spike, and having the sand under you is really useful because it gives you tricksy little setups, such as when you dash on top of the sand, you get the hand effect and it throws you over them. So crouch or jumping fierce is really good because it is a complete 360-degree fucking cross-up effect, and it starts up combos. It can be really ambiguous if you have if you do go for the setup from the right angle. Crouch medium or jump medium kick, I'm not really sure how to convert that yet, but when I figure that out, it would be really useful just to kind of keep them on edge about, you know, which side you're coming at them from. So I start playing around with the sand at this point, I believe. I did this like 2 days ago, and I try to figure out like, okay, what can I do with the dune, with the spikes? Like, what are the spikes for? The spikes are a launcher on here. Now, normally I would say that launchers can lead to some pretty hefty damage. That's not entirely true with Con-Ra from what I've seen. It can, but not in a direct fashion. It'll lead to some really damaging situations. So you get your launcher, you're gonna get like 20% damage, and then, you know, we'll use the example of like Spinal. He gets a launcher, he's gonna get like 36, maybe 40% damage if he's got the right stuff. Con-Ra, when he gets the launcher, he's going to get about 20%, and then he's going to put you in an unfavorable setup. So messing around with his instinct here, basically his instinct is you act and move like you have the sand under you at all times. You can I don't know what it's called, like sand cancel your movement at any point. It's really good. It makes Conra really mobile, which makes him really threatening. It's not something I would want to mess around with too much. Or rather, no, I want to mess around with it, but I don't, like, you yourself do not want to mess around with it. See, this was my problem. I keep messing up with the scarabs. I never remember their input. I always mix up their input directions, and it's just a silly mess. So here I see that the command throw has a ground bounce effect. So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, what can I do off of the command throw? Well, since I have the launcher and I get a setup after the launcher, I'm trying to get the timing for the launcher after the command throw down so that I can get a setup. But the timing for it is a little weird. You have to do it really early, but one thing that I kept kind of complaining about when I was doing this was Conra, all of his moves seem kind of like there's a little bit of delay, say like when I do Conra's regular throw, not command throw, just regular throw, it feels like before I can attempt to do the command throw, there's a lot of delay in my input. Like, even if I buffer it really hard and I'm waiting to the last possible second, like, it still feels really delayed. Like, at that point I was kind of talking about something, I don't know. There are just certain points where I can't really explain what's going on. I can just kind of try and talk about. So here I'm looking at the advantage on block and the startup of everything and kind of getting a feel for what Conra is going to be using in what situations. Dune is +9? Damn, that is really good. I did not notice that before. Excuse me. Oh, here we go. So Conra's body begins leaking sand. This allows him to use sand jump, sand dash, sacrifice, and launch tornado projectiles from whirl without a sand trap. Conra can also sand dash cancel or sand jump cancel his normals on hit or block. So I can pretty much do, I try this out here. Like, I do like fierce and then dash cancel, which is really cool. I feel like there are some really interesting things you can do with this, and I just haven't figured it out yet. When I get more versed with Conra, that instinct mode is going to be so nasty to deal with. Like, how are you going to control or deal with a character that's all over the place, as well as he has insane setups? Like, that's ridiculous. So right here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if you can do Conra's command grab, the air one, on a character who's in a juggled state, but it doesn't really look like you can.
Getting sick, spitting venom, Orochimaru, big dog, Sadaharu, strength muscles, Armstrong, blue Naruto, Black Star. What I'm saying is I'm going hard, spitting fire like Sailor Mars, Hickey Squad, Watamote. You know y'all did anime.